Welcome to NACTV Reads the News. My name is Cathy McGrath, and I'm one of many volunteers that help create programming for our station. NACTV can be seen on MTS Channel 30 or 1030, Westman Cable Channel 17, Bell Satellite Channel 592, or online at nactv.tv. These programs are made possible by our volunteers, staff, advertisers, as well as donations made by you, the viewers. If you are enjoying your NACTV experience, please consider supporting us by either donation or volunteering. You can contact our office at 204-476-2639 or at nactv@wcgwave.ca. And today's issue of the Neepawa Banner and Press is for Friday, August 22nd, 2025. And there's a taste of summer on the front page, Minnedosa Fun Fest, a town-wide blast. Minnedosa's annual Fun Fest celebrations were held this past weekend, featuring a parade, car show, live music, and much more. The streets were filled with smiling onlookers and participants. And there's more pictures here. Minnedosa's Fun Fest weekend seemed to have something for everybody. Pictured here are some scenes from the parade, the book sale, car show. However, there were also a plethora of other activities such as live music, food trucks, bouncy castles, face painting, and more. And we'll continue on with more summer activities. Verdun Indoor Rodeo celebrates 35-year milestone. Personal reflections from Christine Waddell Lobel, co-owner of Verdun Empire Advance and Neepawa Banner and Press, by Christine Waddell. And pictured left, Christine Waddell found a new, very special snake friend at Verdun's Western Days. Waddell said, "She is lovely and it was a perfect night for a Madagascar boa to make new friends." In the middle, former Blue Bomber Obi Khan, PC Manitoba leader, in a conversation as he made new friends at the Verdun Rodeo VIP dinner Friday night. Khan is shown here in conversation with Diane Hansen, ad salesperson for the Verdun Empire Advance. Khan was a star with the Bombers, and Hansen is an avid Bomber fan. And last, on the right, any child willing to pet the boa had a free chance to do so at Verdun's Western Days. Full disclosure, I'm a 67 grad from Virgin Collegiate Institute, but have lived in the Neepawa area since '71. Although I'm not a rodeo follower, I do have a fair knowledge of horsemanship. I loved the Verdun Indoor Rodeo and all the downtown Western Days, events, the sales, the sounds, and my new, very special snake friend. Also watching future stars safely trying their steer wrestling moves on Thursday evening in downtown Verdun. The food trucks and entertainment were excellent. All those VIP passes people saw are not the traditional very important person. Rather, it means involved and invested in financial sponsorship, sometimes to the second and third generation. In the arena, it was great hearing names familiar to anyone from the Verdun and Westman region, but also as far away as Australia. It was fun hearing Neepawa names familiar to us, such as Dalglish, Gillies, Miller, and Whelpton. And let's keep moving on, see what other summer brings us. Right in the Center by Ken Waddell. Putin playing with us all. The timing on this column is a bit awkward as it's Monday morning. This past Friday, President Trump of the United States met with President Putin of Russia. Prior to the meeting, and on several occasions, Trump boasted that he would end the Russia-Ukraine war in short order. That didn't happen, obviously, and it didn't happen last Friday. I believe that Putin has played Trump like a cheap violin. Putin praises Trump, and Trump, being who he is, soaks it up like a petunia in the sunshine. Putin and Russia have no intention of ending the Ukraine war until they get the last drop of Ukrainian blood on the ground and have possession of most or all of Ukraine. The area has been fought over for centuries, and it seems there have been few productive lessons learned from history. I believe Putin is upset about Ukraine wanting to join NATO. That could well be, but if Putin, along with former and future Russian leaders, would take a breath and figure out the costs of their misplaced ambitions, Russia could be the power they once thought they were. If one looks at an interactive historical map of Europe, borders have changed hundreds of times in the last 1,000 years. Tyrants, dictators, and overzealous emperors have moved the borders over and over again. That's all Putin is doing. He has the energy, the power, and the forces to do as he pleases. Well, he did until he invaded Ukraine in what was supposed to be a very brief war. He miscalculated. Heavy tanks and equipment can't always cross farm fields easily. Roads clog up and weather delays travel. Russia's poorly trained troops and poorly maintained equipment bog them down literally. So, in spite of early failures, Putin and his headstrong military doubled down and tried a war of attrition. They forgot how hard invaded people can fight back on their home turf. Sabotage, human sacrifice, and devious defense mechanisms can bring about heavy losses, and that has proven to be the case in this war. If military and political leaders would study history and actually learn from it, park their egos and think, they would come to a better conclusion. When Russia invaded Ukraine, other countries should have rallied to the cause and given Putin a two-word message: go home. But they didn't. Like most historical leaders, they tried to cajole and appease. They supplied munitions to the Ukraine, and the war has dragged out with poor results and costs that the rest of us will be paying for it. It's very annoying. Now, with Trump following after Putin like a willing retriever dog, Putin will get what he wants, at least for now. If Putin lives a few more years, he will want more. How do we know that? Just look at World War II Germany, as Hitler nibbled away at his European neighbors until the whole world was sucked into a war. The answers that should be given to Putin, that is, go home, should have been given to Hitler on day one of his first invasion. Had European countries, and especially France, stood up to Hitler, there would not have been a World War II. But here we are today in a bloody mess with no end in sight. By the time you read this column, there may be some kind of Russian-Ukraine truce, but I doubt it will last. What should happen is that all countries should hunker in and build their economy by means of internal and external trade. There are billions of people to feed, clothe, and equip for what could be a bright future for all if the efforts and money put into war would be geared to peaceful commerce, trade, culture, and yes, feeding everyone. Putin and Trump are theoretically smart men, but they are not using their power properly. I will give Trump credit for aiming for peace, but he needs to stand up to Putin and say, go home. And when that happens, the world can perhaps stop the absolute futility of war and live in the security that God has set us up to achieve. When there is peace, there is prosperity. When war strikes, famine follows closely behind. Ironically, Putin doesn't need to be a warmonger for Russia to prosper, and he should know that. I think Trump knows that, but has trouble with his ego getting in the way. I guess somehow cutting ribbons for the opening of a flour mill and bread factory doesn't rank as high as military parades. And the usual disclaimer, the views expressed in this column are the writer's personal views and are not to be taken as being the view of the newspaper staff. And we move on to Home Buddies by Rita Friesen. I'll get me home. Studies show that everyone dreams, frequently, and therefore I must also dream, frequently. However, I seldom recall a dream, let alone with any degree of clarity. That's why this dream was so outstanding. The setting was a semi-public building, split level with a wide staircase. The players were a hodgepodge of familiar and unfamiliar. One very familiar couple, now well into middle age, had just had a baby, as had one of their children. So that makes child and grandchild the same age. While we were gathered informally, a fire siren blasted. The bins and augers of the local grain elevator were engulfed. The call was for evacuation. Immediately meet at the muster station, a nearby school. In this dream, and thankfully it was a dream, I could not find my shoes or my jacket, and I would not leave without them. What I did find was a pair of fuchsia-colored runners, rather like soccer shoes. They fit, and I took them. I did leave without a jacket, but chose to push a lawnmower to the meeting place. Walking past the elevator, I noted that the blaze had been extinguished and only the bins and augers gone. Needless to say, I arrived late. After hiding the mower in some bushes, I encountered the supervisor for the evacuation. "You missed the bus out." "I know. What are you going to do?" "I'll get myself home." And I woke up. Again, thankfully, it was only a dream. You know how when you wake up, you try to figure out what triggered the dream and how it may pertain to your life? With the news being filled with fire and evacuation stories, it made sense to think about them after falling asleep. Why Lisa had a baby at her age, I have no idea. But several family members have just had little ones and more are carrying, so that could be a trigger. Take a lawnmower? Not a riding lawnmower, but a push one. That would only slow me down. Again, mowing lawns and the sounds of lawnmowers are fairly common these days, so okay. What struck me as I reviewed the dream was the calm assurance I experienced while searching for footwear, while walking past the scene of the fire, and the awareness that I missed the bus out. No panic, steady and steadfast approach to the task at hand, and then again, the calm assurance that I would get myself home, not a plan in place, not a person to rely on, but the assurance that I would get myself home. I do think of myself as self-reliant, a problem solver, and capable. I do not embrace danger, look for anxiety-producing moments, no high-risk adventures for me, nor am I one to too frequently disobey orders or bend too many rules. Check with family and friends on that one. I will spend more time dissecting this dream. It's so seldom that I remember one that there must be a reason for this one. I will laugh at myself for spending so much time on the project. And Faithfully Yours by Neil Stroschein, Looking for the Fruit. Many years ago, I heard 9 words that radically changed my life. They came from a recorded message by the leader of a missionary society that sent personnel into some of the most difficult places on earth for Christian missionaries. He spoke of the challenges faced by those who answer God's call to work in these places and of the struggles he and his staff face when helping them cope with those challenges. Many of our personnel come from colleges and seminaries in North America, he said. They believe they have the faith and spiritual maturity we seek in those who choose to serve in the places where we work. As evidence, they point to times of enlightenment, renewal, revival, and significant spiritual growth they experienced while in training. Then came the words that changed my life. We tell these people that we don't want to hear about their spiritual experiences for 1 year, he said. We want to see the fruit on the tree. In other words, this man and those who worked with him wanted to see how the faith and maturity these first-termers claimed to have would stand up to the harsh realities of missionary life, and how their faith, hope, and love would increase when they had to face issues and challenges for which they were totally unprepared. I have applied those words to every federal, provincial, and municipal government that has come to power since I was first eligible to vote. Those elected weren't always the ones I voted for, but since they received the most votes, they won the right to govern, a right I will always have and always will respect. But trust isn't something governments win on election day. It is earned by governing with integrity and passing laws that benefit all citizens equally. To discern that, we need honest answers to hard questions. For example, are the promises people make realistic, rash, or just rhetoric? How do they react when faced with sudden emergencies, ongoing crises, or the fact that a service club, government, or church does not have sufficient cash on hand to pay for their promises? Will they be humble enough to admit that a proposed solution to a specific problem may be the worst option and not the best? Will they listen to and collaborate with those they lead and jointly come up with sustainable initiatives that will provide the greatest benefit for the money spent? And will they keep their promises to do so? When preparing to vote in an election, or when evaluating our leaders to determine if they still deserve our trust, we have every right to ask these questions and more. But we should not be surprised when people use the same questions when evaluating the work we do in our community, business, service club, or church. If we expect others to earn our trust, we must be prepared to work just as hard to earn theirs. In the Sermon on the Mount, see Matthew 7:15 FF, Jesus spoke of people who, on the outside, appeared to be honest, upright, and caring people, but who, on the inside, were evil, corrupt, manipulative, and determined to use others for personal gain. You will know them by their fruits, he said. So look for the fruit on the tree. He did, and so should we. It is time we took Jesus' words seriously and let the fruit we see on the tree determine how we support our current leaders and who we will choose to replace them when their terms of office expire. And from the beautiful Plains archives, the 1980 Neepawa Blades. Pictured here are members of the 1980 Neepawa Blades. This photo is dated to February 21st, 1980, when it made an appearance in the Neepawa Press. Team members were, starting in the back row from left to right, coach manager Lionel Dagg, Yvonne Brember, Mary Kimball, Barb Selman, and Don Henton. Front row, Pat Kimball, Cathy Kaspick, Kim Dagg, Cathy Michaluk, and Mavis Dagg. Missing are Muriel Gamy and Joan Nugent. And letters to the editor. Letters to the editor. Canola is a way of life. Dear editor, every July in southwestern Manitoba, the fields begin to grow with a golden hue. It's not actual gold, it's canola. Across the Parkland and Westman regions, these rolling fields have sustained families for generations. It's more than a crop, it's a way of life, a livelihood, and a vital part of our national economy. But this year, farmers across our region are watching their hard work turn into uncertainty. China's new 75% tariff on Canadian canola seed isn't just a trade decision, it's a direct hit on our communities. When added to existing 100% tariffs on canola meal, oil, pork, peas, seafood, and the complete ban on Canadian beef, it's clear that China is doing everything it can to squeeze Canadian producers out of the market. The impact will be devastating. In 2024, Canada exported $5 billion in canola to China. That revenue helps pay mortgages, hire local workers, support equipment dealers, and keep rural towns alive. And yet, the federal Liberal government, led by Prime Minister Mark Carney, is nowhere to be seen. This follows the Canadian government's implementation of 100% tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles, EVs, along with a 25% tariff on their steel and aluminum products. While these tariffs were implemented to protect Eastern Canadian jobs, they have come at a steep cost to Western Canadian farmers, businesses, and communities. Carney promised Canadians he would be a master negotiator capable of solving complex global trade disputes. But under his watch, things have only gotten worse. Canada is being muscled out of key markets. The U.S. has doubled tariffs on our softwood lumber. Mexico is giving our ministers the cold shoulder. And Europe is spending $750 billion on U.S. instead of Canadian energy. Here in southwestern Manitoba, farmers sowed their canola this spring, believing that this government would resolve the crisis. Instead, they're facing another harvest with fewer buyers and more barriers. While farmers sacrifice and adapt, Ottawa remains silent. Conservatives are standing up for these producers. We are demanding that the federal government take real action, starting with the cancellation of a $1 billion loan to BC Ferries to buy ships from Chinese shipyards. If China is targeting our farmers, they should not be rewarded with Canadian contracts and Canadian tax dollars. This is not just about numbers or diplomacy. It's about people. Hard-working Canadians who wake before dawn, work through weather and risk, and expect their government to have their backs when times get tough. The Liberal government's failure is not just a political issue, it's a moral one. Conservatives are ready to work across the aisle to restore access to existing markets, while also expanding into new markets. Will the Liberal government commit to doing the same? The farmers of southwestern Manitoba and across Canada deserve more than empty promises. They deserve action. And if this government won't stand up for them, Conservatives will. And that is sincerely from Levi Cottingham of Birtle, Manitoba. And we also have a couple of thumbs ups and thumbs down. Thumbs down. Something needs to be done about Highway 60 going through town. It's so busy and incredibly annoying. Can't even cross the street. Only one pedestrian crossing doesn't do it. Add more crossings or traffic lights. Wonder how nobody has been killed yet, by Colin Whalen of Neepawa. And a big thumbs up To the lifeguards at the Neepawa pool, great job done, especially as they had to spend time underwater to vacuum the pool as the vacuum in pool was not operating. From Bernice Baker of Neepawa. And maybe a little bit of information out of Helen's Kitchen by Helen Drysdale. Pickles. I have had a busy summer preserving summer's bountiful harvest. It's been tempting to romanticize our grandmother's many jars of preserves in neat rows upon the basement shelves. But instead I reflected upon their tenacity to provide for their families. Canning, drying, pickling, and preserving to have enough food for the winter was hard work. I do not have a wood stove to do my canning on, and the hot and cold running water makes my work a breeze compared to my female ancestors. I am sure those hard-working ladies measured their accomplishments by the quantities of provisions stored away in those cellars for the long winter months. Today, I have the luxury of preserving what I like to eat and not be worried about having enough supplies to last the cold winter months. And she's included crisp pickle slices, autumn relish, and pickled jalapeno peppers. Say that fast. Pickled pepper, pickled pepper. And the Cattle Market Report by Blaine Houston at Gladstone Auction. We had a bit of a smaller sale to start off the sale season. The market was still really strong this week on all types of classes. We sold 323 head of cattle through the ring in Gladstone on Tuesday, August 19th. Cows and bulls sold with soaring demand. Feeding type cows and heiferettes are still selling strong. High-yielding cows traded from $205 to $220. Feeding type cows are ranging between $220 to $245. Bulls traded strong $230 to $2.5. We didn't have many feeders, but that didn't affect the prices. We had a herd dispersal of fall-bred cows, and they sold for $5,000 to $5,900. We had 766-pound crossbred yearling steers, bringing $523 a pound. That works out to $4,007 a head. As you can see, we had a very powerful market on Tuesday in Gladstone. And now, the results of the Manitoba Youth Beef Roundup 2025. This article was written with information courteously provided by the Manitoba Youth Beef Roundup. All names are spelled and awards listed as per the details provided to the Neepawa Banner and Press. The 18th annual Manitoba Youth Beef Roundup was certainly a busy event. As stated in the report from the Roundup in last week's paper, a total of 109 youth participated and 122 head of cattle were gathered at the Stride Exhibition Place in Neepawa. Featured this week are the award results for the 2025 Youth Beef Roundup. Individual judging, sponsored by Mazer Group. Junior, Carrie Ann Walker, Bryn Stepler. Intermediate, Abby DeRocane, Chase Airy. Senior, Carson Baker and Thomas Allen. I apologize for name mispronunciations. Team judging and sales talk, sponsored by Manitoba Charlet Association. Pee-wee, Bexley McIntosh. Junior, Braden Stepler. Intermediate, Rhett Sigurdson and Bryn Chapman. Chase Ailey and Avery Jury. Senior, Carson Baker and Thomas Allen. Cora Baker and Kira Duguid. Agribition judging team, sponsored by Manitoba Beef Producers. Carson Baker, Thomas Allen, Cora Baker, and Cara DeRogane. Bob Gordon Memorial Award. This award is presented to the top overall judge. The recipient for this year's award was Carson Baker. Photography, sponsored by Gordon and Diane Peters. Pee-wee, Benson Bootsman, Braxton Fair. Junior, Juliana Veltus, Ella Selman. Intermediate, Kendra Ginsberg, Emery Griffin. Senior, Cora Baker and Kira Duguid. Graphic design, Pee-wee, Paisley Barron, Brittany Canary. Junior, Reed Duguid, Emerson Sissons. Intermediate, Orla Duguid, Chase Airy. Senior, Kira Duguid, Sigas Vigfusson. Pee-wee, Bexley McIntosh, Nadia DeKesser. Junior, Emerson Sissons, Reed Duguid. Intermediate, Bryson Freecon, Orla Duguid. Senior, Cora Baker, Cara DeRockney. Pee-wee, Bexley Scrapbook. Pee-wee, Bexley McIntosh, Paisley Barron. Junior, Emerson Sissons, Chloe Stocky. Intermediate, Kira Bolton, Kendra Hinsbook. Senior, Kira Duguid and Cora Baker. Cook-Off, sponsored by Enns Brothers Equipment. Team 18, comprised of Declan Album, Rhett Sigurdsson, Cohen Cannert, Kirsten Davey, Hannah Tibbett, and Reese Williamson. Team Grooming, sponsored by Manitoba Charlet Association. Pee-wee Junior, Team 18, Cohen Cannert, Kirsten Davey, Hannah Tibbett, and Reese Williamson. Team 6, Blake Airy, Chetta Fraken, William Keane, and Weston Mance. Intermediate Senior, Team 17, Bryn Chapman and Emery Griffin. Team 14, Kate Ginsberg and Kira Bolton. Ag Challenge, sponsored by Mazer Group. Team 7, composed of Otto Veldhus, Keegan Dyke, Gracie Wilkinson, Blake Griffin, Brooklyn Holiday, and Keaton Sissons. All-Star Team. This award is presented to a team that worked well together throughout the event. The recipient this year was Team 14, comprised of Kate Hinsberg, Kira Bolton, Britton Cannart, William Cuthill, and McCoy Glassman. And the Digger Award. This award recognizes an individual who worked hard and always offered a helping hand. This year's award was presented to Tristan Ray. Young Handler Award. The Young Handler Award honors an individual who presents themselves and their animal well in the show ring. The 2025 recipient of this award was Blake Airy. Herdsman Award, sponsored by Gordon and Diane Peters. The Herdsman Award is for the best presented stall. This year's recipient was the Sigurdsson-Veldhus stall, comprised of Brock Sigurdsson, Rhett Sigurdsson, Otto Veldhus, Casper Veldhus, and Juliana Veldhus. Leadership Award, sponsored by Manitoba Beef Producer. The Leadership Award recognizes an individual who shows exemplary leadership qualities throughout the event. This $500 award was received by Cora Baker. Roundup Scholarship, Carson Baker receiving $1,500. Aggregate Award, Belt Buckle, sponsored by Enns Brothers Equipment. Pee-wee, Bexley McIntosh. Junior, Reed Duguid. Intermediate, Kendra Hinsberg. Senior, Cora Baker. Showmanship, Pee-wee, Bexley McIntosh, Benson Bootsman. Junior, Bryn Stepler, Braden Stepler. Intermediate, Harley McCauley, Broiler Franken. Senior, Brock Sigurdsson and Otto Veldhus. Cattle Show Results, Angus, Calves. Champion Angus Bull Calf, Bryson Freakin. Reserve Champion Angus Bull Calf, Carson Baker. Champion Angus Heifer Calf, Ellie Nolan. Reserve Champion Angus Heifer Calf, Nadia Dykeiser. Female Champion Angus Female born 2024, Bryn Chapman. Reserve Champion Angus Female born 2024, Kate Hinsberg. Female with Calf. Champion Angus Female born 2023 with Calf, Kendra Hinsberg. Reserve Champion Angus Female born 2023 with Calf, Carson Baker. Champion Angus Female, Bryn Chapman with Roy McErica, 22M. Reserve Champion Angus Female, Kate Hinsberg with KCH Annie, K412M. Hereford, Female Champion Hereford Female born 2024, Chloe Stocky. Reserve Champion Hereford Female born 2024, Madeline McCauley. Champion Hereford Female, Chloe Stocky with GRHK38J Do 44M. Reserve Champion Hereford Female, Madeline McCauley with SNBR HM Marigold 104M. Simmental Bull Calf, Champion Simmental Bull Calf, Abby DeRockney. Reserve Champion Simmental Bull Calf, Bexley McIntosh. Heifer Calf, Champion Simmental Heifer Calf, Kate Hinsberg. Reserve Champion Simmental Heifer Calf, Brooke Collins. Female Champion Simmental Female born 2024, Bryn Stepler. Reserve Champion Simmental Female born 2024, Brock Sigurdsson. Female with Calf. Champion Simmental Female born 2023 with Calf, Bexley McIntosh. Reserve Champion Simmental Female born 2023 with Calf, Brooke Collins. Mature Female born with Calf. Champion Mature Simmental Female born with Calf, Kate Hinsberg. Reserve Champions Mature Simmental Female born with Calf, Cooper Lafreniere. Champion Simmental Female, Bexley McIntosh with MRK Brave 311 Land, MRK Mr. McIntosh 503N. Reserve Champion Simmental Female, Bryn Stepler with McIntosh Lulu 12M. Commercial, Bull Calf. Champion Commercial Bull Calf, Jacqueline Lynch. Reserve Champion Commercial Bull Calf, Emily Murray. Heifer Calf. Champion Commercial Heifer Calf, Cameron Armstrong. Reserve Champion Commercial Heifer Calf, Haley Fair. Female Champion Commercial Female born 2024, Cameron Armstrong. Reserve Champion Commercial Female born 2024, Rhett Sigurdsson. Female with Calf, Champion Commercial Female born 2023 with Calf, Cameron Armstrong. Reserve Champion Commercial Female born 2023 with Calf, Hanley Fair. Mature Commercial Female born with Calf, Stein Vigfussen. Champion Commercial Female, Cameron Armstrong with Per Loretta and Nova. Reserve Champion Commercial Female, Cameron Armstrong with Miss Monty 57M. Charlet. Heifer Calf, Champion Charlet Heifer Calf, Paisley Barron. Reserve Champion Charlet Heifer Calf, Brianna Snowden. Female, Champion Charlet Female born 2024, Chase Airy. Reserve Champion Charlet Female born 2024, Abby Snowden. Champion Charlet Female, Chase Airy with SVY Starstruck 437M. Reserve Champion Charlet Female, Abby Snowden with Hidden Lake My Moo 87M. All Other Breeds, Champion All Other Breeds Female, Sigga Vigfussen with Head for the Hills to Polka Dot. Reserve Champion All Other Breeds Female, Castleton Scott with Armel Remington Rose 16M. Steer, Champion Fat Steer, Cohen Canart with Fred. Reserve Champion Fat Steer, Castleton Scott with CS Buckshot. The 4-H Parade of Champions. Bryn Stepler, Miami Club, Macintosh Lulu 12M. Issa Lucier, Mountain View Club, Trixie. Kate Hinsberg, Rapid City Club, KCH Malibu 401M. Bryson Freakin, Alida Club, RRW Candy 409M. Chase Airy, Rivers Club, SVY Starstruck 437M. Rhett Sigurdsson, Oakville Club, Daisy. Ivy Allen, Prairie Mountain Club, PBHR Taylor Swift 18E88M. Avery Jury, Neepawa Club, 5M Mini. Sawyer Morrison, Treehorn Club, Ella Marie. Kirsten Davey, Portage Club, TWD Mabel 1M. And Declan Allen, Cardiff Club, Longview Blush 65M. Supreme Female Top 5. Bexley McIntosh, MRK Brave 311L with Bull Calf MRK Mr. McIntosh 503M. Bryn Stepler, Macintosh Lulu 12M. Bryn Chapman, Roy McErica 22M. Chase Airy, SVY Starstruck 437M. And Bryson Friesen, RRW Candy 409M. A solid pat on the back to all who put forward their best efforts and their best cattle this year. Congratulations to all. And a new admin building is planned for the North Cyprus Langford by Ken Waddell. The current North Cyprus Langford Municipal Building, which has been put up for sale, is pictured in the center. The RM of North Cyprus Langford is planning a move. The current RM admin building has been put up for sale. In an interview with the Banner and Press, North Cyprus Langford CAO Teresa Parker said, "The council is planning to move to a more central location. The current building was moved to its current location in 2009. It has been renovated for administrative use and is a modern-looking building." The North Cyprus Langford office is located in Carberry. On January 5, 2015, the rural municipality of Langford and the rural municipality of North Cyprus were officially amalgamated by way of regulation to establish the municipality of North Cyprus Langford. The first North Cyprus Langford Council was elected on October 22, 2014 general election. Old Langford borders Neepawa on the south, east, and west, and while commercial enterprises such as Mazer Equipment, Enns Brothers, and the Neepawa Airport appear to be part of Neepawa, these lands are actually sit within the jurisdiction of the North Cyprus Langford. Although the airport and the industrial park are owned by the town of Neepawa, it's actually located in North Cyprus Langford. After amalgamation, the RM closed the former Langford office in Neepawa at the Beautiful Plains County Court Building. The BP County Court Building is jointly owned by North Cyprus Langford, the RM of Rosedale, and the town of Neepawa. Built in 1883, it was established as a government headquarters for the county of Beautiful Plains. The building used to have a fourth partner, the former RM of Lansdowne. The building was handed over to the 4 municipalities on March 16, 1906. Bill 44 was assented to on May 26, 1981 in the Manitoba legislature to remove Lansdowne from the Beautiful Plains County Court Building Partnership. The BP County Court Building, which is jointly and equally owned, i.e. 1/3 each. Any future ownership changes would require another amendment to the Provincial Act. On occasion, ratepayers in the former Langford portion have complained about having to do municipal business such as paying tax and water bills at the Carberry location when they were used to being able to conduct municipal business closer to home at the County Court Building. The BP County Court Building is now used by the RM of Rosedale, the Neepawa District Chamber of Commerce, and various other local nonprofit organizations. And it is pictured here in the middle. The Beautiful Plains County Court Building in Neepawa used to have the RM of Langford office in it. The RM of North Cyprus Langford is still 1/3 owner of the Beautiful Plains County Court Building. And moving on, BP Museum History, Dumfries School District. And pictured here on the lower left, this is by Casper Warehan. Pictured here is a scene from the Dumfries School District dated to 1954. Names for those pictured were not listed. The Dumfries School District was first formed in 1884 when construction was completed for a building on the northwest corner of Southwest 7, 14, 14 West. This is in what is now known as the municipality of North Cyprus Langford. A new school was built on Southeast 14, 14, 15 in 1903 using land purchased from an individual by the name of James Hall. This school would close in June of 1966. Some of the teachers who worked at the Dumfries School were Nellie B. Hunter, John L. Giroux, and Hazel Maria Kellington, the individual for whom Neepawa's Hazel M. Kellington School is named. And the Harvest Sun Music Festival, 20 Years and Rising by Rob Waddell. And pictured are some of the scenes from the recent Harvest Sun Music Festival, which marked its 20th year in Kelwood. The music festival provided plenty of entertainment for people of all ages to enjoy. This year's Harvest Sun Music Festival in Kelwood was a special one, marking 20 years of a Manitoba treasure. With events at the Kelwood Community Hall, campground, and arboretum, folks got to enjoy walking around and seeing the beauty that small parkland towns have to offer. With the hall decorated with willow fabric, trout rugs, and lights to host the Prairie Portal musicians, and fans alike were treated to a magical experience. The campground stage was host to morning yoga, zany antics by James Culleton's Super Fun Show, Old Time Fiddle, and several other acts that were well received. It was a perfect day with warm sunshine, a light breeze, and shade in the old oak tree. A grand time was had by all. And pictured in the middle and the lower local ties for third in Verdun. Shelby Gellies of Neepawa tied for third in the ladies' breakaway roping competition at the 2025 Verdun Indoor Rodeo. Mounted on her horse, Kinney, she hit a time of 2.9 seconds. Gellies was pretty happy with her placing and the rodeo overall. She said it's really big, an awesome event that they put on. The Verdun Indoor Rodeo has been voted best rodeo in Canada for 2022, 2023, and 2024. Oh, and down here, all treats and no tricks. Neepawa's Dairy Queen was offering up one double whammy of a treat on Thursday, August 14th. That day, from the hours of 10:30 a.m. till 10:30 p.m., was the 2025 edition of its annual and ever well-received Miracle Treat Day. While ice cream is a sweet treat by itself, the sweetest treat of all during this annual event is the fact that the funds raised from Blizzard's purchased benefit Children's Miracle Network and the Children's Hospital Foundation of Manitoba. Staff were working hard serving up smiles, assisted by youth volunteers from the Yellowhead Day Camp. This is the second year the Day Camp youths have assisted during Miracle Treat Day, and all reported an exciting and fun time. And Gellin Small Dream Ride Park officially opened by Joshua Jackson, and pictured on top, on August 18th, the Gellin Small Dream Ride Park held a ribbon-cutting ceremony. From left to right, Don Small, Dream Ride kids Kendall, Evie, and Maya, and Brad Walker, and pictured just below it, A barbecue was held during the Gillen Small Dream Ride Park grand opening, which raised $1,221 for the Dream Factory, with Gillen Small rounding the donation up to $2,000. The proceeds will go to the Dream Factory. It was a dream come true as the ribbon was officially cut on the new Gillen Small Dream Ride Park. A barbecue was held on August 18th to celebrate the opening of the park, located beside Neepawa's Gillen Small at 371 Mountain Avenue. The park features include wheelchair-accessible tables, a hardtop gazebo, and plenty of places for families to sit and enjoy Neepawa's core while surrounded by lush flower beds. Dreamwide co-organizer Marcia Forgue said the new park downtown is for everyone. It's a place downtown where people can take their lunch or go and visit and sit. We didn't really have that downtown. You could go to Riverbend, but there could be issues for seniors to go up and down a hill, she said. Dreamwide is a Neepawa event created in 2020, and it's raised $237,000. That's because of the Neepawaneri community alongside the cyclists and walkers who participate. To be able to have a fixture of the Dream Ride in our town is special. The Dream Ride started after a small group of cyclists rode through Clear Lake with a goal to raise $5,000. The event has since ballooned into an annual event that sees many cyclists tackling the hills of Riding Mountain for a worthy cause. The Dream Factory is a Manitoba-based charity that strives to create joyful experiences for kids battling life-threatening illnesses while offering meaningful support for the families. The barbecue that was held also raised $1,221 for the Dream Factory, with Gillen Small rounding the donation up to $2,000. Forgue is grateful to Gillen Small agencies for donating the land, as well as many businesses and volunteers who donated time, money, materials, and services to make the Dream Ride Park a reality. A special thank also goes to those who donated to the park through fundraisers such as Macon, Krispy Kreme, Val's Pies, and Brews and Bites. And a lot was happening this week. We have a party at Polonia by Joshua Jackson. It was a party for all ages on August 16th and 17th, as residents young and old came out to celebrate the 140th anniversary celebrations take place at Huns Valley. The village of Polonia, known as Huns Valley, turned into a party town over the August 16th weekend as hundreds of spectators came out to celebrate the 140th anniversary of Huns Valley. The community was first settled over 2 days on August 16th and 17th, 1885, hence the dates of the celebration. Those who settled here were part of what was known as the Hungarian colonization, a movement that included individuals immigrating from Hungary, as well as those from countries that were under Austro-Hungarian rule at the time. The area settled was christened as New Hungary, and the post office was named Huns Valley. The planning committee anticipated 300 people in attendance and planned accordingly. But the interest grew well beyond that number as upwards of 600 people flocked to the anniversary party to celebrate. The event kicked off with an opening ceremony. Then, throughout the weekend, patrons had the opportunity to go on a bus tour to learn about the area's history, dance the night away to music, participate in kids' activities, purchase souvenirs, try their luck at the silent auction, homestead tours, displays, and pictures. On Sunday, the crowd was treated to breakfast, and a mass was held dedicated to family ancestors and Our Lady of Neepawa. And I couldn't have asked for a warmer welcome. Neepawa Chamber introduces new office administrator Bechtel Lanutan by Casper Wareham. And she is pictured right here. The Neepawa District Chamber of Commerce officially welcomed a new office administrator and member services coordinator recently. The individual is Becca Lanutan, who is succeeding outgoing office administrator and coordinator Jennifer Wiebe. Lanutan's first official day holding office was July 21st. I couldn't have asked for a warmer welcome. From the beginning, I've had the privilege of being mentored by Jennifer, whose guidance and support have made my transition into the role incredibly smooth and inspiring, said Lanutan. Her mentorship has helped me understand the heart of the chamber and how we serve our members, and I'm so grateful for that foundation as I grow into the position. Lanutan added, I've always been passionate about connecting with people and creating positive experiences, whether through events, conversations, or community initiatives. The Chamber's mission to support local businesses and foster community growth deeply resonated with me. This role felt like a natural fit, combining my love for organization, communication, and relationship building in a space that values collaboration and innovation. Newton also holds a business diploma from the Canadore College in Ontario, which she notes provided her with a strong foundation in administration, marketing, and customer service. She has also organized a combination of corporate and family events. I thrive in environments when I can make people feel welcome and valued, said Newton. A prosperous future. Weeb had previously held the position for 6 years, beginning as a social media person 1 year, then junior administrator 2 years, and finally acting executive director and office administrator last 3 years. I have thoroughly enjoyed working with the Chamber for these past 6 years and feel that it's a great time for someone new to take the reins and bring new ideas and skills to help our membership progress to the next level in our rapidly growing community, said Weeb. It has been a privilege to bring a new Midway company to our annual fair after COVID and see it become a family favorite. I am also glad to have started the new event, our morning coffee mixers, that give members another way of meeting up to network and receive info and training. I feel now is a great time to give someone else a chance to expand on the Chamber's growth possibilities. Weeb added, the Chamber of Commerce Board has been a wonderful group of people who work with over the years. They have helped me to hone my skills with professionalism and patience. I wish to thank all the membership and volunteers that I have worked with over the years and wish them a prosperous future. While Weeb currently doesn't have a specific plan after retiring from her role in the Chamber, she is looking forward to enjoying the rest of summer, tending to her garden, and perhaps take some courses in the fall. As for Newton's look into the future, she shared a word of gratitude and excitement. I'd just like to say how grateful I am to be part of such a vibrant and welcoming community. I believe that every person has a story worth hearing, and I'm excited to learn from each member I meet, said Newton. If you ever drop by the office, expect a warm smile and a genuine conversation. I'm here to help, connect, and grow with you. Deeply disappointed. Industry statement on China's preliminary Canadian canola seed imports ruling. With fall quickly approaching, a canola field east of Neepawa, owned by Jason McLaren, gets swathed so it can dry and be harvested. And this is a media release. The Canola Council of Canada, CCC, and Canadian Canola Growers Association, CCGA, are deeply disappointed with last week's preliminary ruling by China's Minister of Commerce, MOFCOM, as part of its anti-dumping investigation into Canadian canola seed imports. In its ruling, MOFCOM announced the imposition of a 75.8% duty collected in the form of a deposit on all Canadian canola seed shipments as of August 14, 2025. Since the beginning of Chinese anti-dumping investigation in September of 2024, the Canadian canola industry has been consistent in its position that Canada's canola trade with China is aligned and supports rules-based trade, fair market access, and competitiveness of Canadian canola in the Chinese market. China is a highly valued market, and the Canadian canola industry has and will continue to work hard to meet Chinese customer and food security needs. With this preliminary determination of dumping for canola seed, together with the existing 100% anti-discrimination tariffs on canola meal and oil, the Chinese market is effectively closed to the Canadian canola industry, says Chris Davison, President and CEO of the Canola Council of Canada. China is Canada's second largest market for canola and canola products, with exports to China valued at $4.9 billion in 2024. Today's ruling by the MOFCOM is timed for impact as farmers who planted canola in 2025 are preparing for harvest in a few weeks' time. This tariff will have an immediate and substantive impact on farmers' marketing opportunities for the 2025 canola crop, says Rick White, President and CEO of CCGA. Canadian farmers are globally competitive, and if a solution is not found swiftly, the impact will be quickly felt on our farms and in our rural communities. The preliminary determination and its associated duty create significant additional uncertainty and volatility in the global marketplace. Exports to China of canola and canola products provide an important demand signal for the Canadian canola industry. The absence of this signal will have significant and widespread impacts across the canola value chain. Both CCC and CCGA are continuing all efforts to resolve this issue for Canadian canola farmers and the broader value chain. The CCC and the CCGA are calling for immediate support from the federal government as the industry navigates this unprecedented market closure. With an economic impact of $43.7 billion annually, the Canadian canola industry is an economic engine for the Canadian economy, supporting over 200,000 jobs across the country and accounting for over $16 billion in wages. And we're moving on to sports. Serving up a dynamic and fun environment, summer volleyball camp held in Neepawa by Owen Devereaux. And pictured is the 14 to 15-year-old group of players, along with Kira and Hannah Kasprick, as well as Heather Douglas, took time to pose for a group photo during the recent volleyball camp. A local volleyball camp recently taught and refined the fundamentals of the game to a group of talented young athletes. The Neepawa Summer Volleyball Camp ran for 4 days last week at the NACI Gymnasium, with its final day of training held on Thursday, August 14th. The sessions were split into 3 age groups and featured just over 70 participants in total from across the region. The training accommodated all different amounts of skill, from those just starting their volleyball journey to seasoned players aiming to take their game to the next level. All aspects of the game were covered, such as proper passing, setting, hitting, blocking, and defensive footwork. The original idea for the camp began with former HMK teacher and coach Heather Douglas and has evolved to include NACI alumni Hannah and Kira Kasprick. The sisters have been active in the sport since middle school and started coaching it 3 years ago. They first teamed up with Heather on the camp last summer and helped expand the program this year with a partnership with Volleyball Manitoba. The effort definitely appears to have worked, as the participation numbers have more than doubled compared to 2024. Kira Kasprick told the Banner and Press it was wonderful to see the response to the camp. She added that it was important for herself and Hannah to give back to the community that helped raise them. Growing up in a small town, you quickly realize that a lot of the opportunities you get are only there because someone took the time to make them happen. I wanted to be that person for the younger kids, especially when it comes to something I'm passionate about, like volleyball, stated Kasprick. Hannah and I really wanted to give youth the same chances to play and learn as kids in bigger cities. This is exactly the kind of camp I would have loved to have been part of when I was younger, and now being able to create that experience for others and be a positive influence in my community is what really matters to me. As for Heather Douglas, she said it's great to see Kira and Hannah so enthused about giving back to their hometown through the camps and wanting to maintain it for the future. As for the response from the parent and, more importantly, the players, Douglas said there have been a lot of smiles out there in the court, a lot of positive remarks and response. When I look out and I see their smiles, see the players working together as a team, and just how much their skills have improved in just 4 days, yeah, it just makes us all smile. Kira Kasprick elaborated in Douglas's remarks by adding that the camp was a great experience for both herself and Hannah as well. We've put a lot of time into organizing and coaching, but seeing the kids improve, build confidence, and enjoy the sport makes it all worth it. Creating a positive and inclusive space for them to learn has been really rewarding and something I've gotten a lot out of personally. We're definitely hoping to bring the camp back again next summer and continue building on what we've started. And as training camp nears, the Titans bolster their roster by Joshua Jackson. With training camps beginning at the end of August for Manitoba Junior Hockey League, MJHL, clubs, the Neepawa Titans are continuing to tweak their roster ahead of the 25-26 season. The club recently traded for 2005-born goaltender Zach Burley from the French River Rapids of the Northern Ontario Junior Hockey League for a player development fee. Zach split the 2024-25 season with the Steinbach Pistons. Burley would play 9 games for the Pistons, registering a 2.02 goals against average and a .904 save percentage, 3 shutouts, and a 6-1-1 record. With the French River Rapids, the goaltender would start 15 games with a 5.07 goals against average and a .890 save percentage. In separate transactions, the Titans traded away prospect Joshua Shaganya in exchange for Winnipeg Freeze blue liner Jaden Penner, the 2006-born product from Morden. Last year, Penner logged 56 games for the Freeze, adding 5 total points. The Titans also signed forward Ryan Harris, who hails from Burnaby, British Columbia. The 19-year-old played for the Comox Valley Glacier Kings of the Vancouver Island Junior Hockey League. I'm excited for the opportunity to be part of the Titans. I'm looking forward to joining the team and getting the season going, said Harris via a news release. The incoming talent had 13 goals and 11 assists in 43 regular season games as a rookie with the Kings. Ryan will add some scoring punch on the right side. He has a nose for the net and is responsible defensively, said Titans head coach and GM Ken Pearson. The Titans start training camp at the end of August in Brandon before opening up the preseason schedule on September 2nd against the Verdun Oil Capitals at the J&G Homes Arena in Brandon. And continuing with sports, Neepawa wins its first PMGL title by Thomas Friesen of the Brandon Sun. Ben Ranka from left, Hayden Delaloy, Mark Kirkowicz, and Brant Young of the Neepawa Golf and Country Club beat Minnedosa Golf and Country Club in the Prairie Mountain Golf League final at Oak Island Resort on Monday. Neepawa Golf and Country Club was on the good side of the fiercest rivalries in Westman Golf. The club captured the 4th annual Prairie Mountain Golf League Championship with a 6-0 victory over Minnedosa Golf and Country Club on Monday evening. Going against Minnedosa made it a little bit better for us, said Brant Young, one of the 4 Neepawa players to play both the semifinal and final matchups. Young and Neepawa Superintendent Mark Kirkowicz played Derek Cameron and Grant Jacobson in one match, and with Ben Ranka and Hayden Delaloy beating Devin Fortis and Brett McNabb in the other. The format is 4-ball or best ball, with each golfer playing their own ball, but only the better of the 2 scores counts on each hole. Each match has 3 points up for grabs, 1 for the front 9, 1 for the back, and 1 for the overall match. Young and Kirkowicz didn't feel they played their best, but snuck away with the 1-up victories on each 9 to earn all 3 points. Then again, Kirkowicz, a multi-time club champion, can be tough to beat without his best. It definitely frees you up playing with such a steady player. You know what he's going to make his pars out there, so it frees you up to attack pins and try to get more aggressive and make birdies, Young said. He was very clutch in moments when we needed it. The biggest moment for their group was on the 17th hole, as Neepawa trailed by 1 on the back 9, with the match all square. Kirkowicz hit a slinging cut out of the trees to 3 feet and made his birdie putt to win the hole before also winning the 18th, as it turned out. It wouldn't have mattered. Ranka and Delaloy won the front by 1, then handily defeated their opponents on the back to seal the victory for Neepawa. Young said the pair were around 8 or 9 under on the day, which makes sense. Delaloy is back from his rookie year of junior college golf at Southeast Community College in Lincoln, Nebraska. I'd be between him or Mark, if not solely him, as the best player in town, Young said of Delaloy, who defended the Neepawa Club Championship this year. Ben's equally as talented a player in his own right. Smaller fella, but he hits it a mile, and those two complemented each other. The celebration at Oak Island was short-lived. While they were lucky to dodge a few storms during the round, it started pouring shortly after the round, so the team packed up quickly and stopped at A&W in Brandon for a bite, then headed home where the 4 played both playoff matches. Young was quick to point out that it took more than just them to get to the final. Ian Kirkowicz, Austin Gwilt, Kevin Lewandowski, Lance Nugent, Mark Giroux, and Zach Hicks all played 2 matches for the team throughout the 6-match regular season. They earned 23.5 points, 1/2 behind Minnedosa and 1/2 ahead of McGregor as the number 2 seed. That meant home course advantage for the semifinals. We won our semifinal handily, Young said. I don't think that's the case without getting home course advantage, without the play of all the members throughout the year getting us over the hump there. And local products win Western Canadian baseball title. By Joshua Jackson, left to right, Kellen Hawken, Jude Carr, and Jaden Ford recently competed in the Western Canadian Baseball Association 15 under AA championships in St. Albert, Alberta. 3 local baseball players, Kellen Hawken, Jude Carr, and Jaden Ford, recently competed in the Western Canadian Baseball Association under 15 AA championships in St. Albert, Alberta. Team Midwest would end up with a 4-1 record. The quad's first game saw Team Midwest rout the Vancouver Expos 19-8. Then the squad would squeak past host St. Albert Cardinals 4-3. The team would lose its only game 10-4 against the Lumsden Cubs before winning their final round-robin game against the Consort Cubs 10-3. Team Midwest would find themselves in a showdown against tournament rivals, the Lumsden Cubs. Team Midwest would get their revenge and defeat the Cubs 5-2 to secure the championship. Carr to represent Manitoba. Team member Jude Carr was selected to play with Team Manitoba and will travel to Somerset PEI to play in the under-15 provincial team at the national championships. And the pirate ship sunk. Padres win SCBL title. Seen here, a Portage Padres base runner takes a lead off during first game 1 of the Santa Clara Baseball League final against the Plumas Pirates. By Joshua Jackson. The 2025 Santa Clara Baseball League, SCBL, season has come to an end, with the Portage Padres claiming the championship against the Plumas Padres. After a 13-all tie between the two teams on August 6th, the series now shifted to a points-based format, with 2 points awarded for a win and 1 for a tie. During the game on August 14th, the Pirates would pummel the Padres 9-6. The Plumas Pirates built the 8-1 lead over the Portage. Padres threw 4 innings, but Portage would make things interesting by putting up 5 runs to make it 8-6. The Pirates added another run and came away with a 9-6 victory. Game 5 shifted to Portage, where the offense would come alive, and the Padres would edge the Pirates 6-7 to claim back-to-back SCBL championships. Portage attends provincials. Portage would also compete in the Senior AA Provincials with the help of Neepawa Cubs product Garrett Rempel. The Padres posted a 1-2 record, including a loss in extra innings to Oak River, a riveting 1-0 loss to Elmwood to kick off the tournament, and a 7-6 walk-off against Cartwright. And young entrepreneurs shine at Neepawa's annual Children's Business Fair. By Joshua Jackson. Neepawa's young entrepreneurs got a taste of business world at the Neepawa Children's Business Fair on August 14th. The business fair, which completed its 3rd year, borrows a model from the Acton Children's Business Fair in Texas. They created a template for communities worldwide to easily host a children's business fair in their own town. This year, 17 young entrepreneurs set up shop in the Yellowhead Center in conjunction with the Arts Forward Farmers Market to give shoppers a wide variety of options. Neepawa's Economic Development Officer, Marilyn Crew, said it was great to see the kids out there giving it a try. I'm always impressed with the young people who step up to run their own business. The Children's Business Fair is fun and easy way to give entrepreneurship a try, she said. At the market, there was everything from baked goods to home decor, jewelry, slushies, art, and more. Crew acknowledges that one of the most gratifying parts of the fair is watching youth come back year after year and watching their business expand. There have been a few entrepreneurs return each year. They grew more confident in selling and often do better at presenting their products, said the Economic Development Officer. A panel of judges, Jody Baker Photography, Ali Petrepka, Neepawa Gladstone Co-op, and Nathan Braun of New Hope Health Center were on hand to talk to the youth, provide feedback, and hand out awards in 3 categories: Best Customer Service, Most Unique, Best Booth Presentation, and Highest Sales. Caitlin Pankratz and her booth, Heart and Hooks, took home the Best Customer Service prize. Brianna, Zophia, and Keith Bagagun with their business Mish Rose was rewarded Most Unique. Novely Menzies and Jules and Willow's Bakery took home the Best Booth Presentation and Highest Sales Award. Cruz says she's glad to see the community come out and support the entrepreneurs of tomorrow. The community shows up in a big way for this event, and the partnership with Arts Forward Farmers Markets is an important part of that. I think it is important for the community to see the talent of our youth. Each sale gives the youth more confidence and encourages their entrepreneurial spark. And lights, camera, action! The spotlight shone brightly on young talent in Neepawa as Arts Forward's drama camp ended in a dazzling performance, showcasing the creative spirit and hard work of the young aspiring actors. The 28-person camp spent the week learning the basics of singing, choreography, and memorizing lines as they prepared to bring their show, What a Wonderful World, to the Roxy Theatre stage. The camp was led by instructors Megan Peters Angie Weisgerber, Kelly Spencer, and Sylvie Tomanico. And the former Chicken Delight building is coming down. Above the former Chicken Delight restaurant is under a demolition order from the town of Neepawa. And right, the stop work order issued by the Neepawa Area Planning District was posted on June 10th, 2024 by Ken Waddell. After years of standing empty and endless rumors, the old Chicken Delight building at the junction of 16 and 5 West is about to disappear. After the franchise restaurant was closed a number of years ago, the restaurant was put up for sale and advertised on billboards on the site. Eventually, the building was sold and work on renovation was started. The Neepawa Area Planning District subsequently issued a stop work order on June 10, 2024, and updated it on October 28, 2024. Recently, having not received confirmation from the owners on the terms of the work needed, the town of Neepawa ordered demolition to take place. The building is said to have significant structural issues. The demolition is scheduled to start Monday, with the work being done by Breaker 16 Rentals of Neepawa. And the Neepawa RCMP seeks suspect involved in thefts. The Neepawa RCMP are asking for the public's help in identifying a specific person. In a release, the RCMP stated the suspect is responsible for thefts from numerous businesses in Neepawa, as well as unauthorized use of a credit card. Police are urging the public that if anyone has any information to help identify the suspect, to contact the Neepawa RCMP at 204-476-7340. Crime Stoppers Anonymously at 1-800-222-8477, or submit a secure tip online at www.manitobacrimestoppers.com. And we can look back in the past, a few things by Casper Warehan. 125 years ago, there has been quite a boom in the building line in Arden this summer, and several fine residences and a commodious school building have been added, vastly increasing the town-like appearance of the place. It is extremely pleasing to have to record such improvements in view of the hard times. The commodious Massey Harris warehouse is completed. Messrs. McGill and Hunt are busy getting their display stock of binders, mowers, etc. On an average, about 4 new cases of typhoid fever per day are admitted to the General Hospital. There are now 40 cases in the ward, so says the Winnipeg Tribune. 100 years ago, 1925, Glenn Cairn, Sam Babinka, who resided some 8 miles northwest of here, died in Winnipeg Hospital on August 12th from the effects of a body wound inflicted by neighbors some 2 weeks ago in a drunken brawl. Sam Peswick, a neighbor, has been arrested on suspicion and is now in Dauphin Jail awaiting trial. 75 years ago, 1950, one of the few remaining pioneer farmers of the Glendale district is Isaac Kerr of Neepawa, who marked his 83rd birthday on Friday of last week. Vatican authorities are disturbed by the increasing propaganda in favor of birth control, which, despite strong church opposition, is gaining ground in many countries in Europe. Funeral services for Isaac Vershot Lord, 74, well-known Neepawa resident who died in Winnipeg General Hospital August 16th following a lengthy illness, were held in the United Church here on August 19th. 50 years ago, Vina Montgomery said so far over 2,000 people have signed the guest book for the Information Center, which is many more than they expected. This book has been signed by people from Germany, Switzerland, other parts of Canada, and of course our very own Manitoba tourists. Note the Information Center was located at the corner of Main and 5th in Neepawa. Eric Dick, son of Mr. and Mrs. John Dick of Neepawa, has received the General Motors Scholarship of $1,000 for high academic standing in third-year engineering at the University of Manitoba. This is the second consecutive year that Eric has won the award. He is presently employed in Calgary with Hudson's Bay Oil Company as a junior engineer and will return to the U of M in September. Vivian Hotel Company Limited, Neepawa, are pleased to announce the opening of the Town and Country Beauty Salon, Tuesday, September 6th. The salon will be located in the Vivian Motor Hotel, and Chris DeWeiss will be the owner-operator. Mrs. Charlotte Scott, Eastview Lodge, observed her 90th birthday Friday, August 1st. Mrs. Scott was the third resident to enter Eastview Lodge after having lived in the Neepawa area all her life. Her son, George, and Mrs. Scott of Erickson, Manitoba, joined her on the birthday for supper. On July 5th, 1975, the home of Mr. and Mrs. Stan Drysdale was the scene of a lovely wedding when their daughter, Tanis Jean, was united in marriage with William Alistair Skeet. And 20 years ago, cigarettes may be out of sight, but most Neepawa retailers have found they certainly aren't out of mind. Under provincial legislation, retailers had to ensure cigarette and tobacco products were hidden from view beginning last Monday. Who says there's no such thing as rural cuisine? Certainly not the organizers of the second annual supper in the field. Cathy Swan of Parkland Tourism said when the first supper was proposed last fall, reactions varied, but few were enthusiastic. Despite a less than stellar reception, Swan forged ahead. The first supper was a partnership between Parkland and Elkhorn Resort. Over 350 people enjoyed a gourmet dinner in a huge white tent set up in a meadow near Elkhorn Resort. 4 regional Red Seal chefs presented their versions of a fall supper with a menu featuring bison, pickerel, wild boar, roasted vegetables, and desserts. This year, chefs will serve spit-roasted hindquarter of elk, stuffed trout, boiling pot, deep-fried turkey, and earthen-baked beans and roasted potatoes. And NACTV highlights of the week. What a Wonderful World, the theater camp performance. August 25th at 12:15, the 27th at 4 p.m., and the 29th at 9 p.m. And the Children's Business Fair, August 25th at 8:30 p.m., 26th at 12:30 p.m., and August 28th at 11. And bingo, bonanza over 22,000, blackout over 12,000, and toonie pot over 100. And we need a bingo caller. If we don't get one, we're going to lose our bingo. So anybody that's willing to come out on Wednesday and call bingo for us, let us know. It pays $20 for the hour. And that's the conclusion of the Neepawa Banner and Press for Friday, August 22nd, 2025. I hope you enjoyed it.